Welcome to my educational talk. Today I want to talk about having a long and healthy marriage when one or both of you live with a mental illness. So I'm going to be celebrating my 10-year wedding anniversary tomorrow, which is Friday. I will be married to my wife for 10 years. And I look at it as a very large accomplishment because first of all, being married takes a lot of effort and work. And second of all, when you live with a mental illness, it's a huge accomplishment to be able to find someone to love. And it's also very hard to be able to say, hey, that you have been married for 10 years. So what I want to share is a few of the lessons I've learned along the way. And if you have a mental illness or the person you're in a relationship does, I want to share some hope for you because I know I'm not the only one that has been able to have a long and successful marriage with a mental illness, and I believe many others can go out there and do the same. So the first step I would say is to go and look at yourself and to be able to feel ready to be in a relationship. So this might mean taking care of yourself, getting physically and mentally strong, seeing a therapist, having the confidence to be good around other people, because if you are going to be in a relationship, you have to be comfortable with yourself. And I often believe that you have to love yourself before you're ready to love someone else. The next tip I have is to go slow. I dated a lot of people and had a lot of ups and downs in relationships before I met my wife. And I learned this very valuable lesson that it only matters when you meet the right person that you found them. You may have had 20 bad relationships before or been hurt before, but it's really, only matters that you find the right person and that you were able to stay with them for the long term. Even if you had some failures or mistakes or bad relationships before, that doesn't hold you back from finding the right person. Another valuable thing I've learned is to be patient with each other. So if you have a mental illness, there may be a lot of different things. Maybe you're tired often. Maybe you have to take medicine. Maybe there's certain behaviors, you have to sleep enough, and there's certain things that you are limited in doing. But if you will do your best with what you can do, that is very helpful. And maybe also is good to say, hey, I can't do that. I remember when we had our first child, my wife would often be up with the baby for a good part of the night instead of me, because if I didn't get enough sleep, that could impact my mental health. And I found that it worked out that she was able to stay up with the baby and I was able to get a regular sleep so that I could function at my highest level. And, if I didn't have a mental illness, I'm sure I would have been up with the baby and, I would have done the same that she did. But because we knew I had a mental health condition, we tried our best to figure out how to, maintain composure during that time, even during other stressful times, right? So I've moved a few times. I always learn to try to go slow and not rush myself. I try to get support, whether it's family or friends or other people that can help us. And what I found is that having a mental illness made me aware of my actions and behaviors. And I look at my marriage as probably one of the healthiest ones of any of my friends and people I know. We give each other a lot of support. We listen to each other. We're very kind. We don't really fight at all. And I'm a product of a divorce. My parents had a very rough divorce when I was young, and I witnessed what it was like for parents to separate and to fight with each other during a divorce. And I feel very blessed that 10 years are, going to be celebrated being married, and we are still together and happy and moving forward. And my kids, by the time I was 2, my parents were already divorced, and I faced so much struggle from that, of them fighting, and my dad took me for about 10 months. It was just a really rough time. So far my kids don't have that happening, and hopefully they never will. So in a way, having to be more aware of my behavior maybe has given me a better marriage and taught me to be able to how to be stable both in my life and in my relationship. And then I want to share that, you have to be open, because when we got married, I had a mental illness and she didn't. And for many years, my health was something that we would focus on. And then about 3 years ago, my wife happened to go randomly into a depression. We just had a baby and moved and a lot of stressful things. And she became very depressed and negative and unhappy. And I learned then that I had to support her. I encouraged her not to drink. I encouraged her to go seek help. I encouraged her to see a psychiatrist. And it kind of reversed, where I was there to support her. And she ended up getting out of medicine and getting some therapy and getting back to being healthy and happy again. But there's a situation where, I'm the one with the mental illness with bipolar, and she doesn't even have it or any type of illness. And then 7 or 10 years later, she has depression. So what that tells me is anyone is susceptible to facing, a mental health condition. And even if you are in a relationship, always be open to helping each other, because we all go through times where we're sad or alone or upset or fearful, and you can be each other's greatest support. And that's what I found about marriage is, you're with someone each and every day. You can kind of support them and listen to them. And a big thing hit me, when I was getting married. I would see that sometimes these couples that have been together 10, 20 years, they're fighting all the time. They're yelling at each other. They're putting each other down. They kind of say, I hate my wife, or I hate my husband. I thought, wow, this is so silly. Why would you be married for so long and not get along with the person? That doesn't make sense. So I've done my best to every day try to be kind and helpful. And I look at every day, it's something that I work hard to keep strong, because if you're married, it's not like you're there and then it's over. You're just kind of coasting. You have to every day put effort in and try to do your best. And I'm sure I make mistakes. My wife would definitely say there's some things I need to work on, maybe doing the laundry more or cleaning up the house better. But, as long as you are putting in your full effort and trying, that gives you a big step in the right direction. So I want to thank you for watching this educational video. We have lots of cool clips here on YouTube. You can check out the website below, bipolaronline.com. I do a coaching program. And I just want you to know, that you can do what I've done, right? Because I'm married and have 2 kids and celebrating 10-year wedding anniversary. And I hope for you, if I was a young guy when I was sick and diagnosed at 17, I wish someone would have said, hey, man, you could get married one day. You could have a family. You could have kids. And, if I can tell that to some young person out there, that's so valuable, because it's true. And there are people out there succeeding every day with mental illness, and I believe you could do the same. So, get help, get support, and keep moving in the right direction. Thank you so much. You have an awesome day. Bye.